So when TAXA gave me the keys to this Woolly Bear last week, they only had one instruction: to get some dirt on her. And I think I've done just that. I flew into Denver last week, drove about 2 hours north up to Medicine Bow National Forest in Wyoming to do some overlanding, camping, and I've basically just been living out of this for the better part of the past week. The Woolly Bear is TAXA Outdoors' entry-level travel trailer. It's designed to be everything you need, nothing you don't. It's not luxurious, but it is well made and well designed and very well thought out. But there's nothing luxurious here. This isn't glamping, and TAXA Outdoors makes no bones about that. They're not pretending that this is anything other than it is. It's essentially a rooftop tent for sleeping quarters. On the ground floor, you've got all the storage you need, and it's extremely well laid out. I'll get into that in a bit. And the underpinnings of this: Timbren Axle-Less suspension, chunky 16-inch steel wheels, all-terrain tires, and it's got a 360-degree articulating hitch that I really put to the test this week, and I can tell you that it's ready to handle just about anything. So over the past week, I've found that everything about the Woolly Bear is very, very well thought out. The storage is smart, everything has a place, and it just works. So if we're doing a quick walkthrough, I'll start down here. This is a sort of wide and long, but not too deep storage box that I think is perfect for right now. I'm storing, this is a fold-out camp sofa, and behind that is the folding camp table. Now this goes all the way back. You can see where I'm pointing here. This is as deep as this, so I'm actually not even making use of all of this space, but you can fit like tall or very long furniture, tripods, pretty much anything you want here. This is sort of a catch-all. It doesn't really have a specific function, so it's kind of whatever you want it to be. Moving up here, we're looking at the kitchen. This is a very large stainless steel fold-down door. All of these doors lock, by the way, with push-button locks, and each one has an individual, two individual locks. So this here uses an MDF shelving system. It has kind of a birch look to it. I think it's actually might even be some kind of a birch laminate. I'm not entirely sure. But this is designed to fit a standard 2-burner propane stove. I have it pretty empty right now because I wanted you to be able to see what the shelving was like. There's even another shelf on top, and then 2 other kind of cubbies here, which is great for utensils. I have a grill lighter in there, that sort of thing. This space here in the middle is ideal for things like water bottles, gallon jugs, probably even 2-liter bottles of soda, if that's your thing. And then moving on to the left, you've got 2 more shelves. This spot on the bottom is specifically designed to fit there's a Goal Zero in here now, but a 500-watt power station. And then you kind of have your battery and power controls system here. So there's 2 USB-A 5-volt ports there that are obviously powered off of the battery on the tongue, and then there's also a 12-volt port there as well. And then these here all control your lights, which you can't see right now, but there's a red light system in here in this little storage box. There's another one here, and I believe the other one is on the other side in the driver's side storage area. And then you have a voltimeter here, which shows you your battery health, so you can make sure that you're not running out of power on the road. But again, this is great because the power station fits perfectly here. You don't really need to take it out unless you want to charge it with solar, but it gives you a lot of options. You don't have to use it for that. Obviously, you can use it for pots, pans, other kitchen items, that sort of thing. And then this sort of shallow shelf here is great for plugs and other things. So it's very adaptable. You can kind of make the space what you want. And then I love that there's a really, really long stainless steel cooking surface here. This has been great for the last week for me preparing food. You can just give it a quick wipe down. I mean, you can put your food directly on it if you want and just prepare that that way, and then it's easy to just clean, close up, and then you're ready for your next meal. So moving on to here, this open storage box is extremely versatile. it was designed with jerry cans in mind, so you can store them side by side where you can have extra water, extra fuel, whatever it is that you want. But it's also ideal for storing firewood. So if you've already got your water and everything else just sorted and you don't need the storage space for those things, you can load up firewood in here. And the beauty of that is that all of that heavy weight, whether it is in the jerry cans or it is firewood, sits directly over the axle. So it gives you that extra stability as well. So you're not putting it all in the back or in the front. It just gives you an extra bit of balance. Moving over here, this slide out drawer has 2 locks and a push button open system. And now this is specifically sized for a 45 quart cooler or a portable fridge. Now obviously I have a Yeti in there right now and it fits pretty perfectly. This thing slides out very, very easily. It's extremely durable. It holds this cooler with no problem whatsoever. But sorry, we interrupt this broadcast for a word from our hummingbird sponsor. Anyway, there's not even anything out here. I'm just standing in a giant open field. I don't even know where he came from. Anyway, what was I saying? 45 quart cooler, or if you want to get fancy, there is a 12 volt power socket back there, which it's too dark in here. It's obviously black on black. You can't really see it, but at the back there, you can plug in a portable fridge. So it's perfectly sized for that. So if we step around the back, got access to the rooftop tent. Now this is the largest storage box. It's only one large open space on this side. And to give you a sense of scale, of capacity, that is a fairly beefy 650 fill power 0 degree sleeping bag. So it's, well, just to say that it's pretty chunky. It takes up a good amount of space, but you can still see that it's only maybe, if I stood that up, it's only maybe 20-25% of the total space of this storage box here. Under that, I've got a Kelty cargo box that's just sort of a catch-all. It's got a camp quilt because it's been getting crazy cold here, even in summer in Wyoming. And there's a camp pillow and a few other things down there. And then over here, you've got plenty of space for solar panel. That's Goal Zero 100-watt solar panel. There is a large water jug there, and then there's some other miscellaneous things. The cover for the ladder to the rooftop tent is over there. So this kind of just becomes a catch-all. It's almost like a utility, compartment. You can just sort of put whatever you want in here that doesn't fit anywhere else. But I've been living out of this for a week, and I haven't even taken up all this space. I mean, granted, I've been storing some of my stuff in the truck as well, but there's a lot of space here. So moving up to eye level is this large storage shelf in between the rooftop tent and the actual body of the Woolly Bear. Now, this is completely flexible because you can see that these risers here actually, they're pegged right now to the very highest setting they can be, but you can also set them to a medium setting and a lower setting. So depending on, if you want a little bit more stability, which this thing is plenty stable, but you could lower the rooftop tent all the way to the bottom if you want. That has the added feature of being able to store this very easily in a standard garage, at least here in the United States. I don't know if they're different everywhere else in the world. But this whole trailer compacts down very, very small. Once you close everything up, you lower this down as low as you'd like. You can put it in a garage, no problem. But if you want to take more with you, you have the ability to bring much larger items like kayaks. You could strap some waterproof duffel bags in there with clothing, outdoor adventure gear, that sort of thing. And if we take a quick look in here, you can see it has all of these slots for bungeeing, strapping down, tying down, everything. You can just lash the bejesus out of all your stuff to make sure it's not going anywhere. So let's head on upstairs, check out the rooftop tent. So all the windows here, 3-sided screens all the way around. And you've got 2 panels for each window, a screen and then a solid shade. So stepping inside, you've got the solid wall at the rear. That makes up all your storage. There's a large cargo net space at the bottom that I found perfect for stuffing like stuff sacks for my sleeping bag and all that other stuff. Once I got up here at night, set everything up, I could just throw all the stuff sacks in there. Maybe if you want to put an extra pillow, really anything you want. There's 6 smaller mesh pouches. You can stick anything in here. I don't know what that is. You can stick anything in here. You know, cell phones, snacks, Garmin InReach, you know, really Bluetooth speaker, whatever you want to put in there. And then, you know, technically they say this is designed for 3 people. Realistically, it's going to be 2 adults. I'm not a particularly big guy, and I easily took up at least half of this. So if you're, you know, a little bit larger, solo camper, solo couple, this is going to be reasonably comfortable for 2 people, but, you know, anything more than that is probably going to have to be like a baby or a dog. So both people up here, both sleepers, get little nightstand pockets, if you want to call it that. And then the 3 panels all the way around feature a solid panel inner, which I had zipped up all the way around for most of my time here in Wyoming because it got crazy cold here at night, like down into the 30s. And I say crazy cold because it's July, so it is a little bit surprising. But every window also has a zip open screen. So if you want it to be completely open, fresh air, you can do that as well. You can do that on as many sides as you want. 3 sides, including the rear, the one I just showed you, and then the passenger side over here. And then a great feature is the skylight, which, just like the other screens, or the other windows rather, it actually is, in this case it's 3 layers. There is a solid layer, which I have closed, kind of cinched down here, if you want to black out or close to black out everything. There's a screen in the middle, and then on top of that, which you have to kind of affix from the outside, is the rainfly, which that just kind of comes down from the roof and it clips to the corners there with 2 just kind of standard, you know, one-handed buckles. So you can kind of just cinch those down there. And then, you know, I mean, it rained quite a bit while I was here, and I never had a problem with any kind of leaking or anything getting inside here. So lots of options in here, and, you know, it really gives you that nice wide open feel, especially somewhere like this. You know, you zip this open in the morning, and wherever it is that you happen to be, you get a nice view from a good maybe 6-7 feet off the ground. Now, if you're shopping the Woolly Bear, the reason that you would be buying the Overland Edition over the base model is mostly what we're looking at right here. Now, the base model already comes fairly overland ready. It's designed to get you most places, even pretty far off grid. Now, the Overland Edition adds a long list of other features that are specifically designed to take you almost literally anywhere. That includes a Timbren Axle-Less trailer suspension. It's got electric brakes, 2 3/4 more inches of ground clearance than the standard Woolly Bear. And this also rides on 16-inch steel wheels and 265 70R16 all-terrain tires. So, like I said, it's chunky, very off-road capable. There's a lot more here going on, but I can attest that after a week of driving this and putting probably close to 600 to 700 miles on some pretty gnarly forest roads, and a road yesterday that I took that you couldn't pay me to drive again because I was fairly certain that I was going to get stuck. Somehow I managed to, on a wing and a prayer, get out of there. But I had the Woolly Bear up on one tire in a couple instances, and I thought for sure, looking at it in the rearview mirror, that the rooftop tent was going to be, the weight of it was going to be enough to just tip it on its side. And thank the good Lord, baby Jesus, that didn't happen, because I was out there by myself. Didn't really see anybody else out there who could have helped me. So, you know, I'm not that 20-year-old strapping buck I used to be who could easily lift this 1,400-pound trailer back up on its wheels. But I digress. Heading over here to the hitch. This is equally off-road capable. This is another reason that I was able to go all of the places that I did this past week. It's 360-degree articulating, which means essentially that this thing here spins completely around. Now, obviously you don't want it to do that, but if you did, or if you needed it to, it will. And this entire hitch articulates much more than a standard RV hitch, which is all part of the overlanding package, the Overland Edition. It's designed to really, you know, if you've got some crazy departure and approach angles, going up over, you know, steep rocks, or areas where, you know, your truck's high-sided and the trailer is just going in the complete opposite direction, both the tow vehicle and the trailer can sort of move independently, and that's exactly what you want to make sure that you can get in and out of those sticky situations. So what's the damage on this? Well, TAXA's entry-level Woolly Bear starts at just under $14,000. The Overland Edition you see here adds another $2,250, so you're talking $16,250. Now, what TAXA does with the Woolly Bear, as with most of its other trailers, is that they're designed to be extremely customizable. So the base level gets you a base model, and then the goal is that, you know, you'll want to customize it, sort of pick and choose your add-ons and options from there to sort of build it out exactly the way you want, rather than the way that TAXA thinks that you might want it. So $16,250 gets you pretty much everything you see here in black. So, and I also found out that it comes in moon gray, which is nice. So the cooler is not included. The power station, 2-burner stove, and obviously all my miscellaneous things here in the background are also not included. A key point as well is that this brand new moon moth tent, which is a new for 2025 TAXA Outdoors exclusive tent, is also not included. So it's available in 2 versions. The one you see here is $28.99. This is more of kind of the simpler pop-out version. There is also an upgraded flagship moon moth tent, which folds out on either side and adds significantly more room. That's $100 more at $29.99. So you're looking at, for the Woolly Bear Overland Edition, as well as any version of the rooftop tent, you're looking at over $19,000. Now, there's no getting around the fact that that's pricey. You really can't compare this to something like a Jayco RV or some other full-featured travel trailer that you're going to be sleeping in, that's going to give you an interior kitchen, you know, probably a small fireplace, a wet bath, you know, etc., etc. Now, if that's what you want, that's your thing. There's plenty of companies out there that are doing that. This is not that, and TAXA, from the beginning, has made it very clear that they are not that company. These trailers, in my opinion, are designed more for people who genuinely want to spend as much time outside as possible. And that's not to knock anybody who's not buying one of these. If that's the way you like to camp, that's your thing. But the Woolly Bear, as with other TAXA Outdoors trailers, are very airy, they're very open. Everything about them feels more in line with you engaging in the outdoors and being more kind of outside, but also having a little bit of quote-unquote luxury to sort of duck into something resembling an indoor shelter that's comfortable, but it's not necessarily luxurious. For somebody like me, I can spend an entire week mostly outdoors and just tuck up into the rooftop tent when I'm ready to go to bed. Other than that, I'm outside the entire time. So this is perfect for somebody like me. After spending a week with the Woolly Bear Overland Edition, I can safely say that I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. It's capable. It's extremely robust. There wasn't anywhere that it wouldn't take me. So if that's you, if your brand of camping is to spend as much time outside as possible, to disconnect. You don't need the TV and the fireplace and the you know, the indoor sauna and whatever else Airstream is giving you these days. I'm not knocking them, but this might be for you. This is just, it's a fantastic all-around, get you anywhere the hell that you want to go. Pick a place on a map, and if your tow vehicle is capable, the Woolly Bear is ready to get you there. I would imagine even the base level is probably quite capable as well, but the Overland Edition, more than capable. It's a fantastic overall rig, maybe a little bit pricey, not quite for everyone, but for somebody like me, I think it's fantastic. I think that's it for me. I still got to pack this up, got to head back to Denver, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.